Hey guys, I'm gonna wait until a few people get in here. I'm exhausted, so I've been taking notes. I'm still watching Chris McDonough and Steve, but it's getting so late. I needed to go live if I was going to discuss anything that they talked about, because tomorrow I might forget a whole host. I thought this was overall. Hey, lovely. It's nice to see you in here. I thought this was a great conversation. I don't know if anybody else is still watching it or not, or what they're doing, but I've got to tell you, I like Steve, I like Chris. I've always liked them because they've got experience that most people on this platform do not have. So it's always nice to get their perspective. And I like Steve because he's hit on a lot of the things that I've had a problem with. If you guys remember, this is the one interview that we actually watched. Hey, VA, it's nice to see you. I am exhausted, so I'm going to try to run through this. We'll have to take a deeper dive in it tomorrow, but it's late and I'm tired. I just drank a latte and I'm still just utterly exhausted. But this is related to Chris and Steve and the interview. Hey guys, it's nice to see you this evening. I was going to come on at like around 9 and just have a chit chat with all of you guys. Hey Tanya, it's nice to see you. So Nina, it's nice to see you. Bedroom Betty. I love that. Well, it's like I've been here for 3 freaking months. I'm surprised I even fixed my hair. To be honest with you, like, where the hell am I gonna go, right? I might as well sit up and get comfortable. That's the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of sucks because I'm here, literally. I don't really go anywhere. I got no car. I got no wheels. It's still at the mechanic. So I can sit in an uncomfortable chair in the office and work, or I can... or I can kick back and get comfortable. You know what? Since I kicked back and got comfortable, I've been producing a lot of work. I'm just saying, if you haven't noticed. You guys can tease me, but there's a lot of work that gets done in here. I'm just saying, and not the kind of, not that kind of work. I'm just saying. Just saying. It's all Christian and stuff up in here. But what a great just a great show. And like I said, it's still going on now because I'm literally watching it. And I just went ahead, actually, you know what, I think I stopped it from playing. I still want to keep it on closed circuit. But they're done. It seems like they're done now with playing the actual video. They went over that first video. I actually believe there might be a video or two. We're going to be going over all of that stuff here in just a second. Who's this? Oh, Cheeky Chops. It's nice to visit you. I come visit you in Naples. Haha, you're funny. You're funny. I'm going to keep that hidden. Why do you call yourself Cheeky Chops? Should I ask? Should I ask? Oh, good gracious. Oh, good gracious. One thing that I noticed is Summer Wells 2.0. We've been hearing Summer Wells 2.0 for, a little bit of time. Not the word that he wants. Chaos, you're funny. Are you ever going to get your... Adria, I don't know. We're not talking about it. I don't want to cry on the show, okay? We're not talking about it. It's too damn late. I don't know. Actually, to be honest with you, it was running great. It really was. There was one little thing, but it's in a funky place, and he wants to make sure that it actually is the sensor versus... Because, basically, my whole entire fuel system went in the car. And, whether or not it should, we got almost 200,000 miles in the car. And this car has literally been from across this country with every type of gas you could possibly imagine in its engine. God knows what's been in that engine, okay? I'm just saying, I don't check the gas. And you have to think there's probably been a scammer or two at a gas pump. I'm just saying. 200,000 miles. But it sounded really, really good. No chugs or anything like that. We're just waiting for, a part or two. I don't know. Hey guys, it's nice to see you. Me too. But we'll. But either way, all the simple thing I'm just saying is, that's why I'm kind of chilling, right? Because what the hell am I gonna do, right? It's either work or watch paint peel. So I work. That's what I do. But 2.0, I think this case is, I don't know, I don't really have the best opinion of Don and Candace Wells. I just don't. Everybody knows that. That's not surprising, right? Not surprising in the least. But this case, I don't know. I think this is almost, we think Summer Wells is bad, and I believe it's bad, but I feel like this is just a little bit worse. I really do. I feel like it. But one thing that I liked about it is they wanted to go back to kind of the original, one of the first interviews. And they started breaking it down. And of course, I was making notes. I made oodles and oodles and oodles of notes. If you don't believe me, here's notes. And if you see, I wrote small to put as many notes on a page as possible, right? Hopefully I can read them because I can't see without these. So this is what I got. It says, he started talking about getting inside of their head, things like hiding in plain sight. So Steve kind of investigates the words that are used, and he was talking about going back to the very first interview because that's the ones that aren't as tainted as, say, the later interviews, like the ones that we're getting now. And so they really picked apart the green shirt interview, which we've heard before. I wish they would have done this before the behavior panel because I was so angry or upset, I should say, with the behavior panel because we had just had this. We were really unsure about this case, and they were doing a behavior panel like within days after this interview. And their whole perception of this interview was completely polar opposite of mine. And I remember talking about my opinions, and I remember just picking out certain things in this video that were problematic to me. And then we go over to the behavior panel, and they're talking about all the things that I said basically, but opposite. And I'm like, well, okay, I figured, I had a lot of stuff going on. Figured maybe it was just I was exhausted, tired, whatever. I was reading it all wrong. And come to find out, it wasn't any of that. And I don't see how 4 professionals sat on a panel and got that whole entire thing so wrong. Okay? It just seemed awfully intentional that all 4 of them went and hit the crazy train at the same time. I'm just saying. I ain't saying nothing about the behavior panel. I'm just saying, okay? Sorry, not sorry. I'm speaking the obvious, okay? I'm just saying what everybody's thinking. Don't be hating. I like the behavior panel too. I'm just saying. I think they played a little ball. That's all I'm saying. I think they got one of those calls saying, hey, can you do us a favor? Okay, that's all I'm saying. Would you like me to spell it out for you? I think they work for the cops, okay? I think they threw that initial assessment. That's what I really think. And you were thinking it too. Mm-hmm. You sure were. You can hate me. That's okay. I said it. He's been missing their call. They had been missing their child for 8 days. She was going through... he started hitting up about how they were going through all this stuff and how they were taking the focus off of Sebastian and putting it on them, talking about the helplessness and hopelessness. And why are they so helpless and hopeless only 8 days into this, as if they gave up? That's a portrayal of... This is where I start getting really buggy with my small print. A portrayal of emotions, something that he doesn't expect from a parent. Appears the emotions, or emotionless. I got half sentences here. They're going to hold out hope. he's wondering why are they not holding out hope after 8 days, because he says he's hopeless and helpless. 8 days, why hasn't this happened before? What took so long? They're talking about why did it take them so long to come to the camera. I know we talked about that. I personally think it was self-preservation, which they said that multiple times tonight. We've said that here on this channel. I've heard a few YouTubers. Well, welcome to the Bullhorn Betty channel. I'm not a YouTuber. So you're in luck. You're in luck. So where did they hide Sebastian? Steve, that is a great question. I have multiple theories on that, okay? And I wish I had my maps here, but I don't. YouTube doesn't allow you to do the green screens like TikTok. If I was on TikTok, I'd get you guys a nice, beautiful screen and point it all out. Maybe I'll put that down. Let's go through maps. Okay, let me go through maps on my list. Well, when I have the green screen, I'll go through. I'll do a map. I'll do a map video. We'll go over some places. But this is the problem. And I understand why they chose the 5-mile radius, is because that would be standard and customary to that size and population of their search perimeter. Okay? Yes, there are standards. So the 5-mile radius, but if you calculated the time, which we don't believe that Sebastian just walked out, we definitely don't believe he walked out at midnight and had a 6-hour head start before anybody knew he was missing. None of us really believe that. But if he left at, say, midnight or even 3 a.m., he would have been outside of the search perimeter before they even started. Period. He would have been outside of that search perimeter. But that search perimeter, 5 miles, it's a search perimeter. I'd say it's a search perimeter. I don't know if it's a search perimeter for a missing person. I mean, that would be the search perimeter for a missing person, but it's also a search perimeter for, you know what. Anyways, I'll move on. I'll move on. Keep it real. Keep it real. So they don't hear any appeals to the emotion. They don't hear any appeals to the audience, to help find their son in this interview. She's focused on herself. He talks about, he does believe she has sadness, and I'm referring to Steve. Steve's kind of analyzing this. She didn't say a whole lot, but revealed that day was pretty normal. He goes into how anybody that says when something's pretty normal, it's everything but normal. Something happened at 9 p.m. And I write this. I want to go back to that because I've got it marked, and we'll probably go back through that tomorrow when we're in the office on the computer, which is sitting right in front of me. So when we get the equipment hooked up, right, tomorrow, we're going to go back to this. I've got the minute mark on there. But there's something that I circled it, I started, so there's something there. I just didn't write a good notes about here. But I did write this down. This was really interesting. Did you guys? I really thought it was interesting that Steve started breaking stuff down that I was not familiar with or was not aware of at the time. The whole "I love you" thing. How many people we got 320 people in here tonight. By a show of ones and twos, how many watched the Chris McDonough show tonight? It's actually still going on, but they're done with the video, and they're probably talking about some other analysis. I'm going to pick up the last little bit of it. But it was getting late, and I was getting tired, so I decided to go live before it ended. So if anybody ones that you guys watched it, twos that you guys didn't. Okay. Because, okay, they just went off. I'll have to go back and watch the last, 20 or so minutes of it. So some of you guys didn't watch it. I really recommend after we get off here, go over there and watch the Chris McDonough show. I thought it's a long show, but it was very enlightening. Like I said, I enjoyed it, and I wrote down a laundry list of information here. One of the things that I found very interesting that Steve had said was the "I love you." Katie, during this green shirt interview, says that when Sebastian went to bed, You know, she's like, okay, you got to go to bed. And he's like, okay, you know, I love you, Ma, or whatever, you know, like that, where I love you. And he started talking about the cases that he, oh, thank you. What do you say? Hey, Betty, hun, I sent you an email about the new channel. They started since Sebastian went missing. They live 15 minutes from, they live 15 minutes from, okay. You'll want the video they posted today. You'll want to watch the video they posted today. All right, Misty, and you said you sent that to me by email, then I will get it. I will get it. If I have not responded to you, I'll respond to you to let you know that I did get it. And let me write that down, because if I don't write it down, it's already so late. If I don't write it down, I will forget. Misty's email. Okay. And what's today's date? Today's what, the 26th? All right, perfect. I got it on the list. I'll check it out. I don't know if it'll be tonight or tomorrow, because I'm getting a little short-winded here. But this is one thing I did not realize in the domestic violence realm, is that he started talking about saying I love you, and how that he believes that whenever she basically stated that something in close proximity to that time and statement, he believes is when something nefarious could have happened. Now, I just want to state this for the record, that Steve Johnson is just giving his opinion, okay? This is everything that you hear. That is his professional opinion from his years of expertise and experience. Does it make it absolutely 100%? No. He's giving his analysis, okay? It's just like any other analysis. It's an analysis. And this is what he's saying. So he says, the need to tell the world I love you. She had the need to tell the world that she was a good mom. He believes that something nefarious happened that night. The problem with the statement that KP said, when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there. When I woke him up for school, he wasn't there. B. Betty, it's nice to see you. Be inspirational, Stacy. Who else do I got? Karen in here. Nice to see you guys. How can you wake him up if he's not there? Mom said she indicated that she was certain Sebastian walked out of the house within 3 minutes of the house, and then within 3 minutes called her husband. This is what they were saying. Sorry, I have to read my chicken scratch. So they were basically alluding here of why would Katie be calling Chris? Chris isn't home. He's nowhere that he can help her. Why would she call him and not somebody that could help her, like law enforcement or somebody that's close by? It goes on to say he was out of town even though he can't help her. She describes a little while later, related to the telephone call the night before. She was on the 3-hour call with CP, and then they rewind it to go over it again and start discussing about within the 3 minutes she can't find him. She's hoping it's going to be accepted. They're talking about how they're watching them going on from one stage to the next stage as if they discussed what was going to happen as they move forward. This is where they start getting into the questioning about her rocking. It's time for the next step, is what they're feeling like the body language is saying. The breathing continuously, the continuous of rocking. Can't even read my stuff. Spent time portraying. Oh, Chris. They saw the mom and Chris portraying themselves as victims. Portrayal of emotion. She's nervous. We're not hearing nervousness. We're hearing the nervousness out of self-preservation. She's in a self-preservation mode. She's self-soothing. Somebody indicated that it seemed like she was doing Lamaze breathing. I mean, it just went on. And then the $1 million question. They picked up on the $1 million question. They believe that that there was an argument that night or discipline of some sort. And the way Chris was talking about the $1 million question was justification of why and how, as opposed to where he is. They believe that whatever happened took place by the 10 o'clock time frame. And she made a statement in there that many of us missed related to, well, there's a couple statements. Let me go back because I wrote some in the sides here. Another thing that we didn't have on the list, and we've got the list right here of why we don't think this child walked out of the house, because of the sensory issues, the temperature out there. We feel like it would have jolted his sensory issues, the quirky stuff like wearing shoes. He left all of his shoes there. He has allergies to grass and other pollens, outdoor pollens. He's not a runner. This has never happened before. There was some odd light activity going on in and around Sebastian's room up until 11 p.m. And then, of course, the weird light source out and around by Katie's bedroom windows and back door, leaning over toward that new construction community. But two things that we left off here is Katie told us in that green shirt interview that he hates being dirty and he hates bugs. He can't even stand flies. So again, we're going to expect him to walk out at night where there's a lot of creepy, crawly, buggy things that's going to crawl all over him in the woods of Tennessee. In addition to all the other crap that we've listed. Anybody that thinks that this child has walked out of this house, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you are coming to that conclusion. I have been trying to come to that conclusion for some time, and I just can't. There's nothing that even proves this child walked out that door. As a matter of fact, everything is proven he didn't. Cleaning up lights, in my opinion, possibly. So why would he leave now? Did not anyone ask her? I don't know. She says up front she doesn't understand why he would just walk out the door. Sebastian is terrified of bugs. Sorry, he ain't gonna. Exactly! With no shoes, and he always wears shoes because of the ant incident. So now that we have remember I told you we have the pros and the cons list, of why Sebastian would walk out of the house and why he would and why he wouldn't. We've got just a couple things on why he would, and we've got like the whole side of why he wouldn't is filling up. There's like no possibility in my mind that this child literally walked away. They also stated that they believe that this that the way she's explaining everything, that this does indicate some type of abuse. He never runs. Oh, and then there's a part in here, and I think that's what happened at 9. She's talking about how Sebastian never runs, and the way Chris looked at her, it was really, I didn't notice it before. I've watched this interview many times. I think we all have watched it several times in different variations, and especially on other people's channel and whatnot and what have you. And it's like, there's just certain things that pop up, like the tongue thing, when that one lady, that Pat Brown, had used her phone up to the camera or up to the computer to record, and I saw Katie bite her tongue. This is one of those things, is when it just happened to be the way that they were showing it and discussing this video on Chris McDonough, that I happened to notice that Chris has this odd look, like almost jerks his head over and looks weird at her when she starts saying that he's never run before. which I found a little weird because, you know, hindsight's 2020, and we do have that neighbor literally on body cam audio from law enforcement that he's been known to hide under cars, that they've seen him under their car. So has he run away before, or has he not? Did they have a family fight and it scared him and he went and hid under somebody else's car? I mean, it sounds like it is possible. Peter Hyatt said the exact same thing. He feels the I love you, Bubba timestamp is when something happened. And yeah, they said about 10 p.m. too on this show here that's where Steve Johnson, if he had to guess, is where he feels something happened. But you know what? If it was around the I love you, that really doesn't mean, I don't know if that 10 o'clock would be right then. Because if it was around the I love you, and that's what they both said, it was around the time of the I love you. That I love you would have had to happen closer to 9. And that would coincide with that initial call to Chris. Her, oh shit, what have I done call. And that might put some weight into those people that said that they believed that call was because Katie was freaking out. It might put some weight in there. I don't know. They may say 10, but if it's around that I love you happened either right before 9 or at 9, according to Katie's statement. So wouldn't that imply, according to the experts, not a 10 o'clock, but actually a 9 o'clock, which would actually coincide with a phone call to her husband? And everything's history from there. I don't know. I wasn't there. I haven't been there. No shoes, no jacket, no... Exactly, Robbie. Exactly. Just please, Betty, be aware of Tony was said he needs another fall guy. I don't know. But love you, Betty, so I wanted to tell you. I'm not really worried about it, Wayne. I'm a big girl. And not only that, I don't get overly, and you know, I'm for the cases. I'm for the victim. I'm victim focused. It doesn't really matter who the players are. I'll work with whoever, you know. If Tony's there tomorrow, I'll work with Tony tomorrow. If there's another person there, I work with that person too. It's about the cases. You know, it's about the victims. I don't get into all that drama. I'm not getting into it. Chris said Sebastian would hide when he was in trouble. Yeah, but you know what? I keep coming back to, you know, we keep going into kind of deliberating over these same things, and we did see that light source that law enforcement really doesn't, it sounds like Chris McDonough is pretty convinced law enforcement doesn't think those light sources out the back are anything significant, you know? Maybe they're just not. Maybe we're looking at this all wrong, you know? But he seems to be adamant that those lights aren't key. So, you know, we may have to remove the lights. Oops, sorry, guys, about to dance my ceiling. Disco ball. I don't know. What would that mean if we remove the lights? If we remove the lights out of the equation, then that means Sebastian would have had to... Wait a minute. Okay, let's think about this. So, according to Seth's team, something happened that changed the direction of the case within 72 hours. If we remove the light source, because that was our only link that Sebastian may have been moved that night before the Calvary. But if we apply the Letitia Stalk theory, then that means that Sebastian would have still been inside that house. And we believe that Chris went back to get his camper within the 3 days. Was it Chris that triggered the change in the case? Because I feel like this camper is key. If we remove the light source from that night, that means that Sebastian most likely wasn't moved that night. So we could potentially be looking at a Letitia Stout case. So then that would put in play him leaving so soon after it, because he would have to have an avenue to remove him. Potentially. I don't know. I'm just kind of snowballing. I'm trying to put, but we do have to look at it, because for whatever reason, when Chris was talking about the case, the initial case up front, it seemed to me, not Chris Proudfoot, not CP, Chris McDonough. When he was talking about the case up front, it seems to me like he feels law enforcement wasn't deceptive about that fact. And I have to trust Chris McDonough, and his experience. And I feel like if he doesn't feel like he feels law enforcement is saying that that's not probable, or that's not what we think it is, maybe we need to consider that that's not what we think it is. All right, sorry, I was kind of brainstorming out loud. Oops. Vanita, hide, maybe, but you can bet if Sebastian hid out before he had shoes on. Yeah, he'd hide out, but they would have found him, because they even brought in, see, this is the other thing, they brought in the, oh, good gracious, why can't I remember it? My brain's a little slow tonight, I'm getting tired. The thermal imaging. But see, thermal imaging, from my understanding, only works as if you have body temperature. Would he have any body temperature left at this time? Would they have looked in it? And I hear that they're, even in that little cubby, there's a door up there. I don't know. Is there any other places that, like little cubby holes? I don't know. KP didn't say I love you. She said Sebastian. No, I know that, Dale. No, Dale, that's what I'm saying is, but that's what Steve Johnson said, that whenever, because she was actually trying to make the world portray her as a good mom, like, he even told me, I love you, Mom. But yeah, that's right. The van is gone. It is allegedly, I heard the house is going up on the market. Was it June 1st or July 1st? I can't remember. It's either June or July. I can't remember. For whatever reason, I'm wanting to say July. That everybody was off like a month, but I could be wrong, because I don't know. Everything's rumor at this point. I don't have a plug into the real of the Proudfoots. I wish I did. The photos are in preservation. Yeah. The Proudfoots are in preservation mode. Yes, they are. Did you see T-Rev's posting stating the FBI finally posted something about... Yeah, I saw that. I posted that in our chat. I even made a comment like... or I saw a comment like... I don't know. That they can make a statement. They can make a... I can't remember. They can make a statement. FBI can make a statement, but Chatham County and Sumner cannot. It's a little weird that because it's the National Missing Child Month or Day or something like that, and they put Sebastian on their flyer, but we get nothing from TBI or Sumner County. It's a little weird. Oh, that's okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Della, I seen that post by the FBI. Yeah. And by the way, Della's the one that was able to get us that video that we watched earlier tonight. I didn't have her. I didn't ask her if I could share her name, but she gave me permission to share her name. So I wanted to just give everybody, let you guys know where that came from. I think she is threatened by CP like Nina. I'm not defending her because I think she's guilty. I get it. I think I don't know. See, Pebbles has, oh, I'm just going to hold you guys at this point. My legs, because when I start talking this late, my legs start getting tired when I have them crossed. So Pebbles was kind of like, she's been, I don't know how many other mods, I can't remember because Pebbles was the one that was the most consistent on it, but she from the very beginning kind of felt like Katie, there was something with Katie, and of course I'm looking at Chris's arms, I'm seeing the scratches, I'm seeing how much of an a-hole he is, and I'm like, oh no, it's that SOB, it's definitely that SOB, and she's like, pump the brakes, sister, right? And she's like, you need to really consider this. And of course I was going down these things, and I finally reached out to her and I said, kind of ready to consider this whole Katie Proudfoot thing. And I really, after kind of, because when you're first starting out on this, you don't really know what fact is. And, as time goes on, you start realizing that what is corroborated, whether it was corroborated by law enforcement and what law enforcement has corroborated for you as well. And you're trying to put those together. And at the end of the day, what we're finding is that Chris truly was not home that weekend. So it truly does leave Katie Proudfoot alone with her son. And she's trying to tell everybody he went to bed, and when she woke up, he's just gone. And he's gone out of a locked house, and he's autistic and has all these ailments that would prevent him from just walking out of a house. So the story on its face really doesn't make sense when you pull back everything and you remove all the gunk. And so that's where we're at. We're at here. We're at the point where their story really, really doesn't make sense because they keep talking, and every time they talk, whenever they say anything, like even this most recent, they just killed everything that they said over a month ago. They said that the dogs were in the crates, and now we're finding out dogs sleep with Katie. It's just a lot of extra stuff there. Lots of extra stuff there. Yes, Dale, my son is severely autistic. They run just to get the sensory, but son wouldn't go out without shoes or coat. Yeah, that, it's a little bit. Yeah, that's it, Misty. It just does not. It does not add up. So, guys, it is obviously very, 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 very late for me. Does Chris and Katie own a chest? I know. It's kind of hard not to think that but I don't think I think it would be too hard to get. They'd have to do convenience. I'm trying to play this forward, and I started talking about that, and somebody in the live on TikTok was bringing up, I was thinking shoes, but then we started talking about Letitia Stalk, and of course the main thing on Letitia Stalk was how she was able to move Gannon. It was that rolly bag. And so we started talking to that, and somebody started bringing up their Army bags, and I forgot about that. But now that because I've got several military in my family, and that's the one thing that they have, and their last name is stamped on their bag. I mean, it belongs to them. And they take that with them, and I don't know if it's a souvenir or if it's just the bag they're actually supposed to use to keep their uniform in, but they keep it. And it's a durable bag. I think my uncle's had his for 30 years, potentially. Zelly was all over the house when Chris left to go get the camp trailer, right? That's my understanding. And he asked law enforcement for it. But see, there's something that changed, according to law enforcement, that it changed the direction of their investigation within 72 hours of the case. And Chris, that would have been around the time that Chris would have been asking for permission and leaving to go get his camper. And I also said that I think that camper is key because Chris made it key. So I don't know. All right, guys, it's really, really, really late for me. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And tomorrow morning we'll be up. I was going to do a live around 7, 8, which we might do around 7, 8, but I would say probably closer to 8 because it's 11. And I don't know if I'm going to be going right to sleep when I lay my head down. I still got to wash my face and, get ready for bed and all that good stuff. So I'm exhausted and I don't know what time I'll be up. So whenever I get up, I'll see you guys. And if you don't catch me live, watch it on the replay and you'll catch me live later in the day. All right, guys, I love you. God bless. Have a great night and happy Sunday.